have no idea what's coming.
Alright folks, we're back at a Daily Record. The link up here will be in the description. Okay, it's a story by a guy called Jamie Beatson. It surrounds this man here, his name is Clark Smith. Apparently he pulled a samurai sword on an electrician that was called out to fix the heating in his house. So anyway, the headline, Armed cops surround flats. They love surrounding flats, don't they? After raging thug pulls samurai sword on electrician. Well, I'm not going to call him a thug. I'm just going to call him the dude. Right, so the dude wielded the sword and screamed, "Run, run, fucking run, go back to your own scheme." Well, that does sound a wee bit kind of naff, doesn't it? The last bit there, go back to your own scheme. It seems to me like somebody welded that onto that, because run, run, fucking run isn't usually end by go back to your own scheme. It's usually accompanied by some other kind of vocabulary. I don't want to actually start swearing too much here, but you get my drift. Anyway, so let's go on with it. A man sparked a 4-hour siege with firearm cops after pulling a samurai sword on an electrician who couldn't fix his boiler. The electricians are never mind. Clark Smith, the dude, was today jailed for 2 years and 8 months, over the bizarre incident, maybe he stabbed him, in Dundee last December. The City Council had sent out an electrician, Ian McLean, on a late night call. So Ian, you were on call out, so you got good money for this, right? Let's remember that. To Smith's flat in Charleston area of Dundee. I don't know if that's a good or bad area of Dundee, but certainly sounds a bit shady. December 28th, because he had no heating. Well, it was cold in December, so, he'd be a bit upset. Ian, the electrician, identified the fault, but said a gas engineer would need to come because he couldn't fix it. This angered the dude. So there's the dude's swords, apparently. Oh, quite nice, aren't they? Quite ornamental. Be nice above your your bed. The thug, the dude, then got in the council's worker's face, screaming abuse at him as he tried to leave the property around 10 p.m. Fiscal Deputy Charmaine Gilmar... What? Charmaine? What's that all about, Charmaine? What's wrong with Betty or Margaret? Anyway, Gilmartin, that's what I'm going to call her from now on, told Dundee Sheriff Court that having got into the close, Smith then emerged from the flat. The dude then emerged from the flat, wielding a samurai sword and screaming, we would go to that, "Get back to your own scheme." That seems a bit mental. Gilmartin added, a 999 call was made and police attended. That's right, blue lights came on. They were all sitting in McDonald's. Bang, blue lights, armed response, negotiator came straight out the toilet, right? He'd had a curry last night or something. What a mess he left in there as well. The accused told a neighbour, the council has sent someone out to repair my boiler, but the guy said he can't fix it. As a sword was involved, a full firearms incident was declared, and firearms officers, a negotiator, a dog van, and uniformed officers were sent to the property. They surrounded the house. And there's the dude there, in his finery. So let's go on. The accused surrendered himself about 3 o'clock in the morning. He pleaded guilty on a charge of behaving in a threatening and abusive manner. Defense solicitor Anne Duffy said Smith wait till you hear this, folks. The dude had been in hospital for 2 months prior to the incident, having been the victim of a hit and run road smash. So did the police catch the hit and run? I bet it was that electrician. Anyway, never mind that. And only had been released from 9 Welsh hospitals in the days leading up to it. So the guy's just out of hospital after being hit by a hit and run, right? He's not himself, right? He still requires surgery on a damaged heart valve, right? And you've got this mental electrician, right? Okay, so he struggles to articulate himself. That's right. The only way he can articulate himself is to pull swords, right? Okay, so let's move down. So where do we go? Sheriff Alistair Brown jailed the dude for 32 months. What? Reduced from 4 years? 32 months? He never stabbed anybody. He just chased them out the close. Get a grip, Alistair. I mean, if it was some landowner chasing you with a shotgun off a bit of land and I phoned the police, you'd go like that, Alistair. Well, you shouldn't have been on his property. And that would be a shotgun, Alistair. It was only a samurai sword. Now see this other thing. This is another bone of contention with me. The firearms police. I think this should be changed because it's not really fair, is it? Firearms guys turning out. I mean, there was a guy throwing paint out a window the other day there, and it was surrounded by firearms guys. They had sniper rifles on the guy with laser dots on him and all that, and all he did was throw out some paint out a one-story window and shout and bawl a bit. They had negotiators and dogs. What do they think this is, a TV programme? Anyway, I think it should be changed. I think this is, I mean, maybe you could comment on this, folks. Maybe I'm a wee bit off the mark, or I'm wrong, but what do you think about this? Mind and say something in the comments. But I think if a call comes through and they say during that call that a knife is involved, I think the cops that respond to that should come with knives. You know, because I mean, come with a gun. You can stand back about 50 yards, 100 yards in a sniper rifle. It's not really fair, that is it? Alternatively, and I know this case is slightly different in that a samurai sword was used, so I believe then that the response should be with police officers that also have swords. I mean, they don't need to have samurai swords. They can have claymores, whatever kind of sword they like, right? But that's a wee bit more fairer, isn't it? I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, but turning up with heckler cocks and laser sights and all that does seem a wee bit mental. You know, I mean, you've got stab-proof vests and you've got all that. He's no got anything like that, so you could get right in there with a sword yourself. He's going to drop his sword. Even if you went in there with a pickaxe handle or a baseball bat, you'd still be able to take care of him. Because remember, the SAS went into Peterhead with baseball bats. Then you're going with guns. You lot would all run in with guns, shoot everybody just because they were rioting. Right now, listen. Don't forget to hit that like button. Peace out.